That was good. Beck, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
So you are an AR company that does not make AR hardware.
That's right. So Marxent is, we're out of Dayton, Ohio, 50-person group. We are a content management system for augmented and virtual reality. It's a platform we call visual commerce.
Put your mic up a little closer.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, great. So with this visual commerce, since you don't make the hardware, what exactly do you guys do?
Sure. So what we do is we work with our specific vertical is retailers and manufacturers.
Okay.
So what we do is we create 3D representations of their physical products. And so we onboard those 3D models, we put them in a cloud-based system, and then we create applications that allow users to compose scenes. So for instance, today, or at CES, we brought a platform called the Lowe's Holo Room, so for Lowe's Home Improvement. So
right.
It's an iPad application that you can use in the store, or you could use at home very soon, where you drag and drop products into a scene, create your kitchen. Once you've created your kitchen in that scene, you can produce it to a YouTube 360 video that's very easy to share with friends and family. Or you can go into the store and put on an Oculus Rift and actually be fully immersed in your kitchen or bathroom.
So do you see your own kitchen or bathroom?
Yeah, so you actually, as you use the app, you put in your dimensions of your room, you design what you envision to be your kitchen or bathroom, and then when you go in the store, you put the Oculus on, you're actually fully immersed in the 3D experience.
Now, this isn't your first startup, right?
No. We've my brother and I started another firm that we exited to NCR.
Okay. And what was that? Does that relate to VR or anything you're doing
It
right
actually
now?
relates more to content management. So our background has always been about building platforms. If you think about sort of the history of business, it's always sort of hardware, software, content, and then sort of content management systems. And so obviously when the AR, VR space became very popular, we were very focused on whether it's gaming or medical or industrial, there'll be a whole wave of companies that come in behind the AR, VR hardware. And so our specific focus is retail and manufacturer, because that's where our background is.
I think that you're very smart in avoiding doing the hardware. You're trying to provide a service level to it, right?
That's right. So it's more like an enterprise software platform, like a SaaS or a managed service. And it's a different sort of funding structure and financial structure than hardware play. We haven't had to raise nearly as much money as you would need to raise in sort of a hardware play, and we've been able to, with enterprise accounts, you get paid for doing the work, so we've been able to self-fund as well as have some initial funding.
Have you raised venture funding?
We have. So we raised $4 million to date. Dan Gilbert, CEO of Quicken Loans, or chairman of Quicken Loans, through his group called Detroit Venture Partners.
Sure.
And another group out of Boston called Stage One.
Yeah, I know both those groups. What does Dan Gilbert's group? Dan Gilbert owns most of Detroit at this point. What does he bring to the table?
Boy, that's a long conversation. But so Dan is, he's a pretty amazing human being. And if you've ever gotten a chance to, I'm sure you visited Quicken Loans. It's a company culture that's pretty hard to match. And so he's been a tremendous mentor, not only to me, but to many of the other companies that he's involved with. And so how do you build a company where people want to work, they're motivated, and they're engaged, and they're driven, they're excited about the mission? And so he's been a great mentor and helped building a great culture, which we feel like we've been able to do with under his tutelage.
So you guys are based in Ohio.
We are, yeah.
Why Ohio?
Well, we grew up in Dayton, Ohio. If you grew up in Dayton, you know about the Wright brothers. There have been many, innovative companies that have started in Dayton. It's a great hub for tech talent. You've got Wright State University, you've got University of Dayton, you've got Miami, you've got Cincinnati, you've got Ohio State. So it's a great place to get talent.
I think they call it the Ohio State.
Right, well.
Okay.
But it's been a great place to, we're unique in Dayton, and it's a place where people want to come to work. We've got really high retention rates and a great team of people that feel like they're part of something really special. And so it's the combination of factors. It's been a really good place for us so far.
Have you had any luck recruiting people from outside of the Midwest?
We have. We're actually got our first few folks that have come from Silicon Valley to work in Dayton. So that's been exciting. And again, to be a part of something that, the AR, VR space is really hot right now. So people are looking for opportunities there. and people who are really talented in 3D and Unity development are really looking for opportunities, and so that's been good for us.
I'm sure those 3 people are excited to live in more than a room.
The cost of living is a pretty good boon for them. Sure.
I live just north of you in Michigan.
Right.
And so, yes, it's very nice to have a yard, unlike some of my Silicon Valley friends. So let's talk about AR and VR.
Mm-hmm.
Which one are you more excited about long term?
So it's interesting. I think the AR VR sort of question is sort of one that comes up because it's asked within the context of which hardware device is going to win.
Yeah, perhaps.
Right, but once you really get into like building a solution, like the Lowe's HoloRoom, so it's an iOS application combined with a YouTube 360 video that is ultimately viewed on Oculus. And many of our manufacturer clients, like we have a company called AZEK that does decking. So we have an iPad application that they can use in your backyard and sort of build a deck kind of Minecraft style in AR. And so for us, AR and VR is really about context. Are you in a context where you want to project digital content into physical space, or are you in a Lowe's store where you're not in your own kitchen where VR makes more sense? And so they're really sister technologies. They use a lot of the same underlying technology. And so I think when you get past the hardware discussion, it really when you get into a solution, you'll see companies using AR and VR sort of in combination. And ultimately, you'll start to see headsets that allow you to transition from AR and VR.
That was an incredible answer. That's one of the best answers I've heard so far. We've asked a lot of people that. And I think you're right that people are more iPhone, Android.
Right. That's really what's driving the question. But I think if you look at solutions in the marketplace, there are combinations of technologies.
Yeah, great. So tell me about this Lowe's partnership. You use it at home, and then you go into the store. What stores are it available at?
So it's in 6 stores right now in Colorado and Ohio. And so they'll be rolling out to more stores very soon here.
Okay.
And so their motivation is that when you go to a Lowe's store and design a kitchen or bathroom, that may be a couple of different trips to the store. It could be a couple of hours working with a professional.
Sure.
And they do really good on their conversion rates. But if you're still just sort of in the consideration process, you're not really ready to make that investment. When the iPad app is published to the App Store, consumers can do it at home and at their leisure. We've been kind of calling it Minecraft for moms. They can sort of design their kitchens and make many projects, get feedback from people when they post their 360 videos online. And then obviously for Lowe's, they're getting all this interest and intent data. And they can say, hey, great project. Here's a new set of products that have just come out. You may want to consider them as part of your design. Yeah. And they can invite you to the store to say, hey, would you love to see what you designed at full scale 360 in an Oculus? And create so it gives them experiential kind of retail and a way to kind of get them into the store. Sure,
that's great. Now, this is a personal question. Do you have kids?
I do. Twin 11-year-old boys.
Are you going to get an Oculus system for them?
They have every system you can possibly get.
Did you pre-order the new Oculus?
My kids, I come home and they say, hey, Dad, have you heard about the Samsung Gear VR? And I'm like, do you know what I do for a living? So, yeah, that's,
so they get to go to the secret
labs way ahead of
me. And play with everything.
They're way ahead of me.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Beck, I really appreciate you coming here. I wish you the best of luck. And honestly, I really think that Michigan's going to beat Ohio State next year. I feel strongly about that.
I went to Purdue, so I'm not actually in the conversation.
Oh, well, you still live there. Well, thank you very much, Beck. I really do appreciate it. And now we're going to go to a video.